What's up, everybody? Happy Sunday. All right. So, had about close to a day to, kind of decompress, let the emotions die down from last night's game, and figured I'd give you my thoughts, give you my recap. So, this is going to be, as you would have guessed, more of an airing of grievances than anything. Yes, Canes won last night, got our first victory of the season. We are now 1-1 on the 2021 campaign. However, if you watched any of the game, you would know that it was a very sloppy victory. It was a very uninspiring performance. And yes, Travis. Well put. Disappointed is the word for the game. I have a lot of words for this game, but disappointed is one. Javier, what's up? Yes, Tanga, as always. Thank you, sir. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Let's, as I normally do. Darnell. Coaching, yes, has a huge part to do with it. However, I'm going to assign some of the blame on the individual players on the field. And it's going to tie back to something that Quatrine Hill said on my show yesterday. And we'll get to that in a few minutes. But first off, I'm going to get some of the positives out of the way first. Yes, we gutted out a close win. Yes, Andy Borregales, I think, is special, as Coach Diaz said. That dude, as a true freshman, lined up ice water in his veins and just knocked it right through. So, yeah, and we got him for the next 3 to 4 years, so I'm happy about that. So, Andy Borregales played well. He's our MVP from yesterday. Tyreek Stevenson making the game-saving pass deflection. He was pretty solid in pass coverage last night. I think Stevenson and Couch are hands down our two best corners, and it's a major drop-off after that. That being said, I want to see more Isaiah Dunson, more Marcus Clark, get some new blood in there. Because we know who works, we know what works and what doesn't. And I'm sorry, DJ Ivey is not a starting caliber corner. So, Tyreek Stevenson played very well. Nesta Silvera, got to throw a shout out to him. The whole defensive line was bad. However, Nesta Silvera had one of his best games as a Hurricane, maybe his best. It was against App State, but still, he bullied a few guys. He got into the backfield 3 or 4 times and made some big plays, some big run stops. There were times where a big hole opened up and the running back's about to shoot through and he grabs his ankles and tackles him. He made about 5 or 6 plays that were very clutch, as Nesta does. Nesta Silvera makes a lot of clutch plays. So, let's see. Coaching and personnel. Coaches need to... Yes, I want to see some more young guys. Defense overall played okay. Yeah, that is true, Travis. The defense only allowed 15 points. So if you look at the scoreboard, yeah, they did their job. You know, in today's day and age in college football, if your defense is holding the opponent to under 20 points, you're doing well. Your offense should be scoring way more than that, especially this offense with the skill position talent we have. But that's where a lot of the negatives lie. So let's see what else. Nesta played well. Stevenson played well. De'Ara King, I mean, I would give him a grade of about a C. He did not look good throwing the ball, but as a leader does, he used whatever he had at his disposal. At this point, it was his legs. Made some great plays running the ball. Ran over a few defenders, which I love to see. You might think it was stupid. He's putting himself in harm's way. He needed to do something to spark that team. And that shows me leadership. So I love seeing it. Who else? Offensive line played bad, obviously. Trying to think of who else had a solid game. Keyshawn Smith. That's what I was trying to think of. Keyshawn Smith played very well. Lou Headley played very well. That's about it. Those are the positives. And let's move on to the negatives now. So offensive line is bad. Just throwing it out there, the offensive line is very, very bad. I'm really surprised that they are just getting zero push, especially on the interior on these running plays. Because I realize half the time they know it's coming. But, I mean, we're just getting bullied off the line, though. The amount of times that we run it up the middle and get nothing is incredible to me. That being said, though, Some is on the players, some is on the coaches. I want to see more lateral runs, something, maybe a jet sweep here and there, something a little exotic, but it's so vanilla, it's ridiculous. And I was talking, we were all talking as a group, and Steve-O in our Discord was talking about, and he knows wide receivers very well. So he was saying that the wide receiver, the route concepts they were running last night were very plain, very boring. And I agree, because I think it looked like guys were not getting open, which you would think with our speed and quickness, that shouldn't be an issue. And it was. And I think nothing cutting across the middle of the field. I saw very little of that. It was like a repeat of what Mark Richt was running a few years ago. So that's all on Rhett Lashlee. And let's see what else. But at the same time, I put it on the players too, because this offensive line, it looked like Rhett Lashlee's goal was to bully the other team and make a statement that way, which we could have done, but I think we simply do not have those players. Okay? We don't have those guys in the trenches, plain and simple. I will go as far as saying a lot of times we've been recruiting the wrong players, and I think that needs to be filtered out. Yes, please, we're too predictable. We have to take shots. We do. We have to take shots, but not like down the field bombs either. I mean, I'm talking like a 10-yard slant, a 15-yard dig, something like that. Use the middle of the field. Use your tight ends. That was another thing. Will Mallory and Elijah Arroyo. 3 catches, I think, for Will Mallory, and most of them were short, and he had the one bad drop. So that's where player performance comes in. That was on the first drive of the game, too. We started off the game kind of hot, actually. We stopped them. Jafari Harvey got the sack. Then we're moving the ball. Will Mallory on a big third down. I mean, if he catches this ball and shakes off that tackler, he's got nothing but green in front of him. Perfectly thrown ball. And he dropped it. So that killed our drive. Then we get the interception by Amari Carter. Great play. Then we run it in for the touchdown. I will give a quick shout out to Cam Harris. Cam Harris played better, I thought. But again, offensive line's just not making holes for him. So, we got out to a quick 7-0 lead. We got the turnover. I'm thinking, okay, we might run away with this thing. Let's see if we can keep our foot on the gas. After that, it's like we dropped off a cliff. Chug Mo Beer, as always, thank you, sir, for the loyalty. Mallory's overrated. Yeah, Mallory did not look good last night, man. I mean, he would catch a ball in the flats and he would just get nudged and fall. He did not look like a tight end that would just run through guys. Yeah, so Mallory did not look good, but I don't think that's an indication of how good he is. I don't think he's overrated, Randy. I think he just didn't have a good game. I think that's it. I don't know what it was. I think it was all mental. I think Mallory's still going to have a very good season. He's got the ideal size and strength and speed that you want at tight end, but he had a bad game. Elijah Arroyo, he got targeted the one time on that 11-yard. One catch for 11 yards. It was a nice play. It sparked the offense. Never used him again. That's on Rhett Lashlee. Keyshawn Smith, like I said, played well. Mike Harley, two drops. He had 2 drops. I think both on third downs, if I'm not mistaken, or one of them was on a third down that we could have scored on that drive, because that would have been deep in the red zone had he made that catch. Remember, we said that Mark Richt was stubborn and Lashlee is the same. Yeah. Very, very stubborn. It seems like we've had stubborn play callers forever. I mean, I'll go back all the way to the Larry Coker days when it was Dan Warner. I would kill to have a guy like Dan Warner now, but back then we were complaining about him. So Dan Warner wasn't great. Then we had Rich Olson after him. He wasn't that good, but the quarterback play sucked. So can't blame him too much. After him, who was it? Patrick Nix, maybe the worst OC of all time. But he and Coach Shannon didn't see eye to eye, so that was part of it, and bad quarterback play. Let's see who else. After him, it was Mark Whipple. After him, it was Jed Fish. Had one really good season, I thought, as our OC. And then James Coley. Yeah, I think it was James Coley. Decent OC. But I mean, for the most part, we've had, feels like since Chizinski, we've had terrible play callers. How many 4 or 5 stars do you see App State have? None. I'll answer that right now. They might have 1 4-star. That's it. No way you should compete with a team of our caliber. I never seen App State in the top 25 in recruiting, yet they play like they do. That's coaching. That's not just coaching. That's the culture that they've cultivated. Then they've been cultivating it since before 2007. That's how they got that upset in Michigan. All right. That's why Wholesome One put out a tweet. I responded to it today, but I don't know when he put it. It was probably last night. He was saying that, all this, a win is a win, all that it's hard to, you can't think that way even when, you're starting to learn how to win. You can't think that way. You have to think about domination from the beginning because it's hard to filter that out of your program. And I get that now. I kind of get that because last year, as a fan, I was letting a lot slide in these close games. Like, you know what? We're 5-1. We're 6-1. Hey, big improvement from last year. It's a COVID year. You're letting a lot slide. But I feel like we've regressed since then, which is crazy because we've returned pretty much all of our starters, except for Brevin Jordan. Cam played better than the other running back. Played better when the other running back went out. Yeah. No, Cam played better. He was more decisive, I thought. You just got to give that guy room to run, man. John, we in deep trouble, boss. Yeah, I saw Michigan State and Virginia. Manolo will be lucky to sniff 8 wins. I hate to admit it, but yeah, you got a point. Some of these games that I figured we'd be 4-1 going to North Carolina, some of these games look like way more of a challenge now. I don't know who's going to win next Saturday. That's my early prediction. It was announced by, I saw Susan Miller-Degnan say it on Twitter, that the game next Saturday is on ABC. It's at noon. It may feature 2 ranked opponents because we thought Michigan State was going to be terrible because of their roster, but Mel Tucker's already turning that thing around. A win is a win comes from Manny. I agree. But yeah, that could be two top 25 teams going head-to-head next week. What do we do at the running back position for Michigan State? Do our best to stop them, but we haven't been doing that. Did you see Manolo after the game? He was talking about App State like they were in a Yeah, he was saying, hey, he was giving the politically correct answer, which, he's the son of a politician, so it's in his blood. He was saying, hey, listen, that's, we gutted out a close win. That's a good football team over there. Hats off to them, blah, blah, blah. But I would love for him just once to kind of break character and just be like, even after a close win, just be like, you know what? This is not up to standard. I did not like our performance tonight. I'm going to put myself to blame first and foremost. I did not like what I saw out there. We got to play better. I think him just saying that would make me feel a little bit better, honestly. I'm going out on a limb. I think Canes win by 20 plus, just a gut feeling. Don't ask me why. I hope you're right. Right now, the little ESPN percentage predictor has us like 66, 67% certain of a victory, which is pretty significant. ESPN believes we're going to win that game, but I think the days of I hate to admit it, it's been the case for a long time, but the days of Miami just going out there and out just out talenting people with our speed and our athleticism, just beating them with pure natural talent. Those days are a thing of the past, and they have been a thing of the past for a long time. It's just not going to work. On a good note, FSU lost to Jacksonville State. Yeah, that was pretty funny. He better rip Lashley a new one. He is pathetic. Yeah, no, it's really bad. Saban yells at his players up by 40. Yeah, there was a tweet earlier that I retweeted. Yeah, man, that's the constructive criticism that you do not see from Manny Diaz, at least on screen. I don't see it. I don't see him ripping into anybody. I don't see the assistant staff, or maybe they do this behind the, off camera, but I don't see any player getting ripped into. You know what I would love to see? if it's a close game against a bad opponent and, we're celebrating because we got a turnover and they're wearing the turnover chain, I want to see some coach step in and take the chain off them. Like, man, sit down. Let's work on this next drive. Because I think I don't know if we should get rid of the turnover chain completely, but I think, I feel like it should be situational. If we're down 4 touchdowns, that thing should not come out. One name, Blake James, he's the guy we have to send packing. Yeah. Remove the head of the steak. That could be the issue. Let's see. Darnell Dixon says, Manny says we need to recruit to Miami standards. But yeah, he doesn't say it after the game when we don't play like it. It's unacceptable. This is not Miami standard. I agree. This is not Miami standard at all. This is not the guy that's going to lead us to a national championship, folks. I hate to break it to y'all. I'm sure most of you, if you're on this chat right now, airing your grievances along with me, I'm sure you agree. We have starters that would be on ship at Georgia. Yeah. Totally agree. Look how they used Lawrence Cager. Good example. Manny Rippa player transfer portal comes. Wait, Manny. Yeah, okay. Agreed. Yeah, there seems to be no accountability during the game. Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. That's exactly what I'm getting at. And look, I kind of always knew this, but something hit me yesterday watching Cristobal and Oregon just dominate and bully Ohio State in the trenches. It might not have seemed like it in the scoreboard because Ohio State just has insane talent. They have guys at wide receiver. They have a really good quarterback. They're going to make plays to stay in the game. But man, in the trenches, they just did whatever they wanted to Ohio State at the Horseshoe, at Ohio State. So, first of all, can we stop the whole nonsense that Cristobal is not a good game day coach? Can we stop that? Because, okay, maybe he's not the best X's and O's during a game kind of guy, but the dude develops his talent and he has a clear identity. He's going to bring a physical nature to your football team. And it's something we've been missing for a very, very long time. What I realized watching that game is that until we haven't been able to do that to a good team in many, many years, just bully them in the trenches. And until we do that, this program is not going to progress. Okay? This program's not going to progress until we are good on the offensive line. And good, I mean, not steamrolling FAMU by 60 points. I don't care about those games. It's when we go toe-to-toe with Va-Tech, North Carolina, FSU, whoever, when the Coastal Division's on the line, can we just line up and ram it down their throats? I'll give you a good example. I would say the last year we had a solid O-line was the last time Arquijo was here, 2013, 2014. 2014, we played Virginia Tech on a Thursday night in Blacksburg. That was the game where Duke Johnson ran for like 246 or something. You probably ran him into the ground that day, but whatever. That's what Al Golden did. Anyway, it didn't matter. We beat them like 31-7 or something like that. Solid team, both 2 unranked teams, by the way, evenly matched. Some people had us losing that game. We just dismantled them, just running it down their throats. I haven't seen that from this team probably since that game. No identity whatsoever. I prefer Whipple ball on offense right now. Yeah, at least Mark Whipple threw some exotic stuff at defenses. Exotic route trees and formations. Yeah, Whipple ball was fun until teams started adjusting to him. That's where his stubbornness got in his way. Let's see. Miami's all hat, no cattle. Well put. Randy, why was everyone bragging about this O-line and seniority? I'll tell you, and I was kind of on this train as well. The position where experience and number of snaps and number of games played together matters most is the offensive line. That's where cohesiveness and chemistry matters the most. And having this offseason where they can play together and, they can practice together for a whole offseason, learn the system, not like last year over Zoom, and, get in the weight room an extra year under David Feely. I'm thinking all those things put together, plus you're injecting Jalen Rivers and Navon Donaldson, two guys that are 30, 40 pounds bigger than the guards we had last year. I'm thinking, okay, by default, just on experience and size alone, we're going to be better. I think we're worse. 55 is not as good as we thought. A 5'10" D tackle, 5'11" D tackle handled them the whole game. Gainer has got to go. I want to see some Ja'Kai Clark at center, to be honest with you. I kind of agree with that. Yeah. Donaldson, who's 55, that's who he's talking about. Navon Donaldson, man, he's been getting pushed around a little bit. And even in I understand the first game was Alabama, but the dude is massive and was a freshman All-American. This is another example of a guy flashing as a freshman and just kind of plateaus, doesn't really get better. By now, he should have been an All-American candidate. John, you see Rambo yelling at 55 for not getting his block last night. Yes, I remember that play. So, I mean, I don't know why they drew that up for Donaldson, of all people, to go out to the flat and block a corner. Didn't get that at all. But, you know, I don't think – I think Donaldson's the last guy on the O-line you do that with. But regardless, his job on a bubble screen last night was to go out, chip, at least get a piece of that corner so Rambo can catch it and cut upfield. And if he catches him, you know, that's at least a first down because there was green in front of him. Donaldson, of course, not even whiffs. He doesn't get there in time because he's not quick enough to execute that play. But Rambo just gets blown up in the backfield. That's another example of just it's lack of execution, but also bad play design. Play design was good. The effort on 55 was horrible. That's why they yelled at him. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's effort or that he's just 350 pounds and he's not that quick. You know, either way, I didn't like any of it. True Hurricane 92. Donaldson should quit and battle Joey Chestnut. Oh, Hurricane 92. I think we get better game by game. Honestly, we're 1-1. A lot of the top 10 teams who got upset don't look good. Bama, the only team that looks ready. If you want to shed light on the positive, you know, we can do that for a second. Yes, a lot of teams in front of us lost that shouldn't have lost. We survived what seemed like an upset, one of these upset Saturdays that a lot of teams get knocked off. We survived, and we'll move up in the rankings as a result. Do we deserve it? Probably not. But yeah, it's very possible we get better with every game. It's very possible. But leadership on this team has to step up, and that's something that's lacking, sorely lacking. Let's see what else we got. I'll be on for like 5 more minutes maybe. We don't have these problems in Gainesville. It doesn't seem like it. While I will say the quarterback situation is not ideal at Florida, Dan Mullen is not the best. He's not an elite recruiter, but you know what? The guy's a great game day coach, and he makes up for it. Yes, let's see how they do against an actual opponent. They haven't really played anybody yet, but we play that same USF team last night, we probably win by like a touchdown, let's be honest. The way we played, everyone speaks of Green Tree Cranes came to practice full speed, 50% speed. Yeah, man, I don't know what's happening in practice, honestly. I mean, are we being fooled? Are the clips that they're showing us, are they just running hard for the clips? I don't get it. John, we suck. It's time for Williams and LT. I need to see LT on that field, man. I don't get it. Like, why? Why was he sitting on the bench the whole time? James Williams was out there. He was on the field. Excuse me. He was on the field, if I'm not mistaken, on the go-ahead score for App State. And I think I saw number 0 on that play, but it was Williams and Bubba Bolden, I think, playing safety. Both guys look lost. They let the play action fool them, and this dude gets butt naked wide open. And Bubba Bolden's just like he didn't even care. And then getting beat over the top, Bubba Bolden's just jogging. I mean, I don't understand it at all. Can we stop running the bubble screen and halfback dive, please? Bubble screens work if you do them at the right time and you execute them. When Mark Richt was here, we had the best group of blocking wide receivers in the nation. When it was Berrios and Coley and Amon Richards and all those guys blocked their asses off. That's why then on bubble screens, we'd get 6-7 yards every time. It was nice to see Rambo cussing out Donaldson on that screenplay. Yeah. You know what? Rambo comes from another program where anything less than great is not accepted. So yes, that's the kind of leadership we need to see. I need more of that. You need 5, 6, 7 of those guys on your roster, at least. Maybe more. Hall and Bolden on the 2 deep passes. Yeah, Hall and Bolden on the 2 deep passes to tight ends. Yeah. Inexcusable. I'm sorry. Inexcusable. Inexcusable performance on the field. Execution was bad. Coaching was bad. Just top to bottom. And somehow we still won. We can't execute them. This LOL is clear. The blockers get destroyed every time. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The blocking was so much better 4 or 5 years ago. So much better. It's a clear drop-off. You don't need 4 or 5-star O-line to be an effective O-line. I agree. That's the one position you can get away with not getting 5-star guys and have a great O-line. Look at Wisconsin. Do you guys remember, and I think I'll end on this, Gervin tackled. Gervin had a few missed tackles, but he had a few made tackles, which for him is an improvement, and that's not good. But yeah, Gervin had a better game. All right. But back to this. The offensive line, if you guys remember, what was it? The Pinstripe Bowl? It was one of the times we played Wisconsin. I think it was the Pinstripe Bowl because at the Orange Bowl I went to. So yeah, it had to have been the Pinstripe Bowl. I was watching it on TV. And on that first possession, they're showing, they're just running it down our throats. They showed a graphic ESPN did on the screen. And what it showed was their starting O-line was like 2-star, 3-star, walk-on, 2-star, walk-on. I'm not joking. If you can find, a full version of that game, it was the 2018 Pinstripe Bowl. Find that game on YouTube or whatever. I'm sure it's there. And that graphic will pop up sometime in the first quarter. And when I saw that, I was like, yeah, that's blocking is all coaching. That's all coaching and culture and all that stuff. T-Rob is a disappointment. T-Rob is arguably the best secondaries coach in the country and has proven it year in and year out wherever he's been. I'm sorry, he's not the problem. It's the players in the secondary. Remember, T-Rob just got here. It's very hard to coach bad habits out of these juniors and seniors that have been there 3-4 years, 5 years in some cases. So, let's see how the younger guys perform under his watch. But that's why I'm saying you got to assign some of the blame to the players because you got T-Rob on the staff. You got Jess Simpson on the staff, and you got Bob Shoop behind the scenes game planning. Those are 3, you can't argue, those are 3 fantastic coaches. If we're still not performing, that's on the players. I'm sorry. We don't have an elite pass rusher on our team, and that's why Manny has to blitz so much. Not just that, how many times late in the game did we throw a blitz at them and they just picked it up? No problem. And we're just like tired and we can't seem to get through and we're just generating no pressure. Sending 6 guys, 7 guys. It was incredible. First quarter, we were kind of getting pressure. After that, they just gassed out. We literally have one running back right now. Chaney injured, Knighton suspended. I guess the freshman not ready. Well, ready or not, the freshmen are going to be called upon. Cody Brown and Thad Franklin, they need to get themselves ready. All right, boys. I think I'm gonna end it right here. I just wanted to do a quick live. Got a busy day, and then I got the Dolphins game to watch at 4:30. But yeah. But yeah, so that was my thoughts on the game last night. Be sure to drop your thoughts in the comments. If you're just I saw some people hop in now. Please go back, rewatch it, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I will be on with Flo tonight as we usually are, and we're going to probably take an even deeper dive into this game. So that's it for me. Hope we can get it together between now and Michigan State, because that's going to be if you thought this was a tough game, that's going to be an even tougher game. Anyways, family, it's all about the U. See ya.